guidelines kay
Good morning, Davao City Division. And as teachers, we are one with the Department of Education in recognizing that we must adopt alternative modes of delivery to ensure that learning will continue while guaranteeing the health, safety, well-being of all learners, teachers, and school employees amidst the threats of the coronavirus. Good morning, everyone, and this is the Orientation on the Learning Delivery Modalities course, or LDM2 for teachers. And I would like to acknowledge our Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Reynaldo M. Galiena, CESO 5, our Assistant Schools Division Superintendents, Ma'am Marilyn Deduyo, and Dr. Jinky B. Ferman, our Chiefs for the Curriculum Implementation Division, Dr. Alma Sisifra, our SGOD Chief, Dr. Teresita F. Del Valle, our Division ITO, Sir Gilbert Banluta, our NAIAP trainers, and of course, the 11,449 teachers in the entire division of Davao City. Good morning. To start with our activity, may we request everybody to please stand for the Philippine National Anthem and please remain standing for our opening prayer.
Davao City. Life is here.
Sa mulat ng aking mga mata, agad akong nanalangin para makausap ka. Pupunta ng simbahan kasama ang pamilya, walang ibang iniisip kundi ikaw lamang. Panginoon, salamat sa lahat. Ang awit kong ito'y alay sa iyo. Panginoon, sandigan ko, minamahal at sinasamba kita.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Rahmanirrahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in. Ihdina siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladina an'amta alaihim. Ghairil maghdubi alaihim waladdallin. Amin.
Ama namin sumasalangit ka, sinasamba namin ang ngalan mo. Ikaw ang dahilan kung bakit kami ay lumalaban. Hinahangad namin ang kapayapaan ng lahat, ang pagkakaisa ng bawat tao, tulong-tulong sa bawat laban. Gabayan niyo ang aming kinikilos. Kami patawarin mo sa mga salang ginawa ng sangkatauhan. Hinihingi ang iyong pagmamahal at karunungan. O Diyos Jesucristo na makapangyarihan, sa ngalan ng Ama, Anak, Espiritu Santo. Amen.
Lumalaban sa problema na aming nadadatnan, ngunit Panginoon, nandyan ka sa aming tabi, umarawan o gumabi. Panginoon, salamat sa lahat. Ang awit kong ito'y alay sa iyo. Panginoon, sandigan ko, minamahal at sinasamba kita. Panginoon, salamat sa lahat. Ang awit kong ito'y alay sa iyo. Panginoon, sandigan ko, minamahal at sinasamba kita.
Once again, good morning, everyone. And we are live via the Facebook page of MIS Davao City. And we are also can be viewed via the YouTube channel of MIS Davao City. And I am sure that some of you are watching from your stations because you are working on site, while some of you are working from home. So we may be virtually, physically separated, but we are always virtually connected. And this is the new normal in education. And so to start with our activity, let us hear a message from our Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Jinky B. Furman.
To our Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Reynaldo Giliana, Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Marilyn Detuyo, CID Chief, Alma Cifra, Ms. GOD Chief, Teresita Del Valle, to all our public schools, district supervisors, school heads, and teachers, good morning. It has been a week after we opened our classes via remote learning, and we have been faced with a lot of challenges. We had to put few schools on lockdown because of the threat contracting the virus from teachers who were found positive. The distribution of SLMs had to be put on hold, and schools had to implement the contingency plans. We also suffer to damages and loss of materials due to flooding in identified schools. We have teachers who also struggled in the conduct of their online classes and were even attacked via social media by the same learners they have tediously prepared their lessons. And these and more made our first week motivating and inspiring. It has to motivate us to even strive a little more to become better, to ensure that we have our contingency plans ready, to make sure that the materials issued to us are put in a safe place. And the experience also has to inspire us to be more engaging and patient to our learners and clienteles and to be able to deliver the tasks expected of us. In the face of this continuing health threat, the Department of Education formulated the Basic Education Learning Continuity Plan to put in motion the marching orders of our Secretary to ensure that learning continues while guaranteeing the health, safety, and well-being of all learners, teachers, and other DepEd employees. The LCP recognizes that DepEd must adopt alternative modes of delivering learning if it is to reach all learners regardless of who and where they are. Where school-based face-to-face learning is not possible, the LCP identifies three learning delivery modalities or LDMs the schools may implement. So we have the online distance learning or the ODL, the modular distance learning, and blended learning. A critical component of the LCP is enabling teachers and school leaders to use these learning delivery modalities effectively. LCP capacity building has two streams. So the first stream, LDM1, is focused on the implementation and management of the alternative learning delivery system at all levels of the education system and intended for school and division leaders. This course that you are about to take, which is LDM2, is intended for teachers and is focused on the instructional implications of using these alternative LDMs. So we expect that you will be able to know the different LDMs and platforms, their features, their uses, and pedagogies. And that after the course, you'll be able to plan for the implementation of the school-adopted LDMs, and you are able to prepare learning materials and resources needed for the said LDM. And of course, this would make you confident in executing lessons in the new LDM. And by being confident, you'll be able to face bravely all the challenges, especially those that I have mentioned, in the new normal of education. We have been transmitting reports to the regional office and the central office on the readiness of schools. There is a need to improve the readiness of teachers and school leaders for the implementation and management of learning delivery modalities consistent with policies and COVID-19 response framework adopted by the government, and provide guidance to the field officials in making informed decisions related to the implementation of the different learning delivery modalities appropriate to their content. We expect you all to implement the learning delivery modalities course 2 effectively and efficiently as planned. Good luck to all our attendees and congratulations to our team behind this event. May you all have a very meaningful engagements throughout this course that you are taking. So again, thank you and good morning.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Jinky. Indeed, we have just started our classes and challenges are becoming real. So we all look forward that this LDM2 will help us teachers to become efficient and effective in the delivery of learning, even in the absence of a face-to-face instruction, which is very impossible during this time of pandemic. And we would like to inform our teachers that the expected participants are 11,449 teachers in the entire division of Davao City. Uh, Although we are many, but there is enough space for us in this virtual venue. So I would like to remind our participants to please register using the attendance link that will be flashed in your screen anytime during the whole duration of the sessions. And for your questions, you may key in your questions in the comment section of your Facebook and YouTube. So to know more about the LDM2 course and what it is all about and what is expected of us at the end of this orientation, let us now start with our session proper. And let's move on to session 1, that's course overview. And this will be facilitated by Dr. Romulo N. Peralta, the Principal 2 of Kalinan National High School.
Good morning, Philippines. Good morning, Davao City. This is Mulong from Kalinan National High School. Magandang umaga sa inyong lahat. 11,449 teachers na nakikinig, nanunood, at nakikishare sa virtual conference natin ngayon. And before I'll start my session this morning, I would like to greet our Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Reynaldo M. Guiliana sa SO5, our Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Marilyn Daduyo and Dr. Jinky B. Ferman, our Chief of the CID, Dr. Alma Cifra, as well as our SGOD Chief, Dr. Teresita Del Valle, our Education Supervisors of the Davao City Division, our PSDS, and the school heads listening to us this morning. Good morning to all of you. The face mask, the face shield, as well as how to maintain the physical distancing have already become part of our normal life in the education department. So this morning, dadagdagan natin ng isa yung magiging part ng ating LDM, ang LDM2 for the teachers. So fasten your seatbelt, maupo ng tuwid, for we are about to start our journey. That ends our 18-minute journey with the LDM2 for the teachers overview. So the last part, the activities of the last part in my presentation were actually were examples or samples to be answered by teachers during the LAC sessions with your LAC leaders. Ito si Mulong nag-uulat para sa umagang ito, kung ako'y magbabalik pagkaraan ng ilang oras. Thank you.
From your presentation. Thank you very much for giving us a sneak peek or a course overview of this LDM2. So we have learned from your session that this orientation is part of DepEd LCP or the Learning Continuity Plan. So there are two streams, LDM1 and LDM2. All of these trainings is for capacity building of school heads and teachers in the delivery of the different learning modalities. So we have also learned there are modules, there are also lessons and activities that teachers will undergo, but I'm sure we will not be overwhelmed teachers because we have instructional coaches and there are also LAC sessions for this. And so we look forward of what are the content of the different modules and how coaching will be done in the next series of sessions later. And so now we are going to, and again, if you have questions, you just write your questions on the comment section of your YouTube and Facebook. And at this time, we are going to have a health break for 15 minutes. So health break is very important because it improves mental health at work. So it is now time for us to get a bit of relaxation, do some stretching if you want, or you can go outside and look for the greens, um, because that would be very helpful. So let us declare a 15-minute break. Once again, welcome back to our next session. So we hope that you're able to get some fresh air, look at the greens outside because that is really very important after hooking or gluing yourself to your monitors and screens. And in the next breaks, we will be giving you 5-minute break only. Okay, so we will now move on to our next session. So please get a very comfortable place. If you are working in your schools or if you are working at home, uh, bring the food that you want to munch in. Bring some water with you, for we are going to continue with our next session. So now moving on to session 2. For technical, the topic is on technical assistance and coaching in LDM2. And this will be facilitated by Dr. Arlenor Abelardo, the Public Schools District Supervisor, Buhangin District.
Good morning. Good morning to all. Good morning, devs, and to the teachers of the Division of Davao City. It is my pleasure to be with you. And I hope with the few minutes that is being given to me, I can ease up the anxiety. I know this LDM, as what you have heard, madugo na naman. Sabihin na naman ng mga teachers, ano na naman ba tong webinar na to? But mind you guys, we are here to help you because this new normal that we're facing right now, we need each other. We need to help each other to explore new strategy, mga pamaagi nga karon lang nato mahibal-an o ma-try out because of this pandemic. I hope everyone is ready, embracing. Ako man din, pati sa technology, I have with me Rickmar here na tingali mawala ko sa Eric Mar. So, ganun, no? We have to be so open to changes. Hindi option po yung pagiging mag-retire na kaagad tayo mga teachers ha. Hindi yun sagot. We have to be happy in spite na nasa crisis tayo. Kailangan nating alagaan natin sarili and be positive on this, not positive on the virus but positive on the changes na dapat nating gawin para mapadayo nato ang edukasyon sa atong mga kabataan. So I'll be talking about the technical assistance, the role of the leaders, school leaders in giving technical assistance and coaching to our teachers. Hindi para pabibigatin ang trabaho ng teacher, pero i-guide namin para mapagaan at mapaganda naman ang kalidad ng pagtuturo ng mga teachers. Okay? So, I'll be sharing you now the slides. Okay. Devs, can we share now the slides?
Hi, Ma'am Arlenor.
Yeah, Ma'am Devs.
So while we are waiting for our technical
Yes.
operator to do the slideshow, so madugo, Ma'am Arlenor, sabi
Yeah.
mo?
Opo.
Huwag
Lalong-lalo na pag hindi sanay sa ganitong klaseng a lot of trainings na ako ang naadtuan pero this will be my first time na mag-discuss using the technology that we had. And can we have now the full? Okay, the full screen.
Thank you very much, Sir Gail.
Okay, so of course, my greetings to our schools division superintendent, Dr. Ray Galiena, kalimutan ko na kaagad. And of course, the 2ACS, Ma'am Marilyn and Ma'am Jinky, good morning to all of you. Aside from the mga ka-team ko sa NEAP, no? I hope magiging okay na tayo. Okay. So, my session talks about the technical assistance and coaching, the learning delivery modality. No? So, for the teachers, designed for the teachers. For the past few months, napagdaanan na ng mga school heads, ng mga district supervisors, division supervisors, how to go on with this learning modality that we're going to have. We'll be using for the new normal kind of our system, school system that we have right now. So it takes the two to tango. We have to be a partner to our teachers. Hindi pwedeng kami lang, no? Hindi pwedeng si teacher, si school head lang, si supervisor lang. Kailangan namin na ma-equip din ang mga teachers sa ganitong pamamaraan. Okay? So, kailangang malaman natin kung ano ang role ni teacher. So, this session, the discussion will give information on how the technical assistance, the coaching, the Learning Action Cell will provide support in your learning as you go through the LDM2 course. So, hindi problema ang ganitong pag-aaral kasi nandito lang kami sa side ninyo. No? Si principal, si supervisor nandyan lang lagi to help the teachers with this training. Okay? Huwag niyo isipin na panibagong ano na naman to, panibagong trabaho or pabigat na naman to sa mga teachers. Kailangan natin itong matutunan para pagpatuloy tayo ng tinatawag nating sulong edukalidad. Lagi nating hashtag yan, pero paano nga ba gawin itong printed modular? Printed modular na lang ba tayo? Or kailangan nating gawin yung may mga supplementary like the radio-based instruction, the TV-based instruction, lahat ng yun dapat alam ni teacher kasi na-trending na tayo ngayon sa FB, no? So, kung minsan sabihin natin na ano nga ba naman ang mga parents, hindi man lang tayo nabigyan ng chance. Normal lang yun kasi we are still new, but it's not an excuse not to improve ourselves. Kailangan i-capacitate natin ang ating mga sarili. Okay, so ito yung objective ng session na to how to give technical assistance. Anong makukuha natin from our school heads, from our supervisors, who will be coaching us as we go through with this kind of learning modality. Okay? So, ito yan, no? The LDM coaches, the technical assistance providers from the central office, of course, and the education forum partners choose the regional assignments. Meron yung mga naka-assign na lahat, no? So, for Region 1, Region 2, and so on, may mga naka-assign na. For us here in Region 11, meron na tayo, no, with Ma'am Lorna Mapinogos and the rest of the NIA facilitators will be there. Na-train na yung mga education supervisors, the district supervisors, and recently the school principals to be giving the teachers with the technical assistance needed. So, the LDM coaching arrangement for LDM2, no, the region will constitute the regional technical coaching team, no? So regions through FTAD manages and assigns coaches perhaps to schools, divisions, or through individual or team, no? Consideration with the size of the division. So medyo malaki ang Davao City, marami tayo. So maraming mga technical assistance team na tutulong sa ating mga teachers. In each team, through the Learning Action Cell, binubuo yan ng 15 teachers na merong leader. Pero with that leader, as we go on, you will notice na may mga leader yung mga teams na yan. May mga principal din na nakaabang para mag-guide ng ating mga teachers. And of course, with the assistance also with the district and division supervisors. We have the Division 1, Division 2, Division so on. May mga, sabi ko kanina, yung mga district and division supervisors who are beside with the teachers, giving support in dealing with this, as we go through with the learning delivery modality, with this course, of course. Now, the LDM coaching arrangement for LDM2, sabi kanina, na meron tayong mga master teachers, no? Nakita niyo sa screen, na meron tayong mga LAC leader, okay? Usually, ang mga LAC leader na yan, ang na-assign na yan, ay yung mga head teacher at saka master teachers, no? So, under the baton, of course, with the district and division supervisor. So, may mga binubuo na yan na mag-guide sa atin, sa mga teachers, So, huwag kayong huwag kayong maging cause ng anxiety na ano na naman ito. Huwag yung let's have this learning with fun, no? Kasi mas maganda yung natututo tayo na magaan sa loob at may halong kasiyahan, mas madali ang trabaho, 'di ba? Okay, so mas madali lang to kasi we have each other. Of course, the supervisors, the principals are there to support, not to find fault from our teachers na lagi natin, baka tingnan na naman ito na hindi ako marunong. No, we are there to support each other because wala nang ibang magtutulungan kundi tayo na taga-DepEd. Okay, so what are the responsibilities of our technical assistance providers or the coach? Number one is to provide technical assistance and coaching for the LAC through the LAC leader. So si LAC leader, do not worry because itong mga school heads natin will be there to support, no? To support ano yung mga kailanganin ninyo. Nandyan ba kung ano yung mga resources na kakailanganin? Kailangan ng mga television or what? Mga printing materials or lahat na kakailangan ninyo, sabihin nyo in advance to your school heads para mabigyan naman ng funds, no, through our school maintenance operating and yung MOE natin. So, yan, no, provide technical assistance through the help of our school heads, through the LAC leader. Second is to directly provide individual technical assistance or coaching when so requested by individual participants in coordination with the LAC leader. So kung may mga times din naman na medyo magkahiyaan, hindi makapagsabi yung isang teacher in a group, no? Hindi niya masabi murag maulaw mang kumusulti sa among leader, ma'am. You can directly or yung individual na mag-approach kay LAC leader or to the principal, no? Kasi yung tawag natin na mentoring. Kasi yung mentoring, iba yun sa coaching. Yung mentoring, a mentee can approach anyone na gamitin niya as mentor na comfortable siya na matututo, no? Aside sa coaching, usually ang coaching according to the former regional director Stigoy, pag coaching, nandun na yung position. Si principal nagbibigay ng direksyon, nagbibigay ng guide or ng assistance. Yun ang coaching kasi may position. Like the master teacher assisting the teachers, that's coaching. Pero yung mentoring, you can choose persons, no, na sa tingin niyo makakatulong sa inyo. That's mentoring. Okay? So, pwede din po yung individual, no? Hindi kailangan na maggrupo talaga tayo para matututo. No, you can have the mentoring or coaching in individual, no? So third is address concerns of participants individually or as a LAC or learning action cell through the LAC leader. So lahat ng mga concerns ninyo dapat sabihin ninyo with your LAC leader. Kung hindi makapagsabi kay LAC leader, through your principal, no? Para mapabigyan or mabigyan natin ng solusyon. Hindi yung, sana wag na yung sa FB kasi kung sa FB, wala tayong makuhaan na, no? That is not productive. So, try to address the concerns immediately to the right person so that that problem or issues will be addressed to and that will be solved eventually. So yan ang trabaho ng responsibilities ng technical assistance provider or the coach, no, during the learning action cell or the team, no. What are other responsibilities? Number 4 is refer and address concerns to the coaching team through FTAD, no, the technical assistance division for appropriate action or refer the concerns to appropriate official or office for yun. Yung sabihin, medyo may ano tayo dito. So, ang sabi ko kanina, hindi natin mabibigyan ng tamang lunas kung hindi nyo sasabihin yung masasabi natin sa ating leader. Try to talk with the men ang mga taong nakakatulong sa atin. Or if you have your friend in your team, no? Kasi medyo mahiyain si teacher, pwede kayong doon mag-approach. Oo, kasi you will be growing together professionally, no? Kay kitang tanan nabaguan sa aning klaseng pamaagi sa classroom instruction. So we need to support each other. Feel free to talk, to share your insights, no? Kuminsan din, itong leader natin, the way we approach, the way we handle with our team, mag-vary din yan. Kailangan medyo nandun yung humility, no? So, hindi lahat, it's not a one-man show, but we will be learning from each other. If you are the leader, you will be learning from your members. Always remember that ako gani maka-learn ko from my school heads is because they're so intelligent and they have varied experiences in terms of classroom instruction. So, walang problema, hindi kawalan yung magiging ano tayo, yung maging listener tayo with our subordinates or co-member with the team. The fifth is to provide feedback. To provide feedback to the lack or individual members on cell or the Slack, no? Sa mga school man yan. May mga kailangan talaga yung feedback so that we will improve, no? Nandun yung continuous improvement. Hindi pwede naka-Slack na tayo, wala na. What happens next? Kailangan, murag problema ni nga ato ang room, hindi conducive, masyadong maingay. So, kailangan natin na magkaroon ng feedback so that we will improve the holding of our LAC sessions. Ganun po yun. Hindi pwede na we will settle for less. Hindi tayo matututo, hindi tayo mag-improve kung wala yung feedback mechanism. And I hope the LAC leaders will not get offended. No, wag yung ikaw na lang mag-leader diri. Kay murag mas hard pa ka. No, kailangan natin ng feedback para ma-improve tayong lahat. At saka magiging harmonious yung conducive yung atmosphere ng inyong LAC session. So I hope we will be learning from each other. We will sail together, no? And then, who will serve as LAC leader for LDM2, for the senior teacher? Of course, we have the master teacher, the head teacher, or the department head, and other senior teachers who have proven competence and potential to lead the learning action cell. So, ibig sabihin, pwede rin namang sa inyong grupo, may mag-lead, no? Kasi kung minsan, kala natin, master teacher, baka meron pa rin diyang mga senior teachers na masyado na matagal sa service, mga magagaling din. Bigyan din natin chance na mag-lead sila in a particular LAC session para mabigyan ng chance ang lahat. The LAC leader shall closely coordinate with the division LDM2 coach assigned to the LAC in terms of the following: the assignment of roles of other LAC members, organizing and leading the team with the LAC sessions, monitoring of progress of individual members in the LDM course. Yung mga nasabi kong assignment of roles of other LAC members, may mga role ang bawat miyembro. Dili pasabot na miyembro lang kung wala ko yung role. You have baka naman ikaw yung documenter, ikaw yung reporter, may mga role tayong lahat. We will be learning if we will be accepting the roles na i-assign sa atin. Kasi kung hindi tayo mag-accept ng role, paano tayo matututo? Kinahanglan dyan magpa-bright agamay. Bisan lang yun o gitahapan pag-bright. Pero maningkamot yun matahap yun sila, no? Para mag-improve ta. It's for our individual growth, no? Professional growth. Kasi kung hindi natin tutulungan ang ating sarili, na murag maigo ta nang nagipangsulti nila sa FB, which is not true, of course. Then, the organizing and leading the team, yan, makakaya yan ni teacher, no? Kasi sanay na kayo mag-organize ng mga teams, a lot of works, a lot of activities that we have in DepEd, kayang-kaya yan ng teacher. Unsa pa man ang LAC session, it's not new to all of you, no? Madali lang yan, basta nandun yung positive outlook natin na kaya natin yan. Hindi pwede na taga-DPWH ang magaling dyan. Dapat taga-DepEd ang magaling dito sa tinatawag nating LAC session. Okay? So, monitoring of progress, of course, your principal will be monitoring ano nang nangyayari sa mga teachers. How can the principal help? How can we as supervisor help our teachers? Tinitingnan din namin. Hindi kami pumupunta doon para mangita na yun mali. No. Tinitingnan namin, ano na nangyari dito? Anong kulang? Ano pang maibigay namin? Yun ang lagi namin nasa isip. So dapat we will be open, no? ayaw maulaw kung naa si supervisor, ayaw maulaw kung naa si principal during your lab session. They are there to monitor the progress in order for us to help you in holding your lab session. So with that, I'm so happy that everyone is still, although mandatory to, pero kailangan nating isa puso, kailangan nating to face it with a positive outlook, kung sabi ko kanina. So kaya yan, no? Sino pa ba magtutulungan? Tayo rin na taga kapamilya ng or taga hindi na pala kapamilya, ano pa ba yun? Kapuso. Taga DepEd lang ang magtutulungan. Okay? So, I think I've been able to share with you what's important in this, the technical assistance na kailangan ng mga guro natin, and the coaching, of course. Devs?
Thank you very much, Dr. Arlinor.
Welcome, Devs.
I think it's important, ma'am, because we are in the new normal and there are different
Yes.
learning modalities, and these modalities are new to us because we are
Yes.
face-to-face.
Ibang senaryo na tayo ngayon. Yes.
So, para siyang we need an orientation on how to deliver these different modalities, how we are going to assess learning in these different forms of modalities. And I think
Exactly.
okay, so I would like to believe that our experiences as we do the different activities are those related with our teaching and learning processes. Tama po ba, Ma'am Arlene?
Yeah, kailangan natin i-upgrade ang ating mga sarili. Hindi lang ang cellphone dapat i-upgrade, pati yung teaching skills, facilitation skills ni teacher, given with this kind of new normal, the kind of classroom instruction that you're going to deliver, kailangan ma-upgrade din para hindi tayo mapag-iwanan. Okay?
So thank you very much, Ma'am Arlene. So again, thank you very much, and we look forward to more information that we will learn in the next series of sessions in this LDM2. Thank you very much, Dr. Arlene.
Thank you, Devs.
And so, moving on, we are going to, again, ang daming health breaks natin, ma'am, no? Yes, ma'am. So we are going to declare a 5-minute health break lang po. So we can use this 5 minutes for stretching, doing some stretching, going outside and look for the greens, because I believe it is really very important for us to look for the green things because we have been hooked to our computers for quite some time. So thank you very much. See you after 5 minutes.
Modalities, isusulong ligtas sa pagtuturo ating tugon upang magtuloy-tuloy ang edukasyon. Distance learning, pagtuturo kahit malayo, online lahat pagsasamahin, masiguro lamang lessons ay makarating. TV, radyo, module, online, anuman ang gamitin. Ang mahalaga, tuloy pa rin ang teaching learning. Sulong edukalidad, magpapatuloy na kalidad na edukasyon. Pinakamatibay na pundasyon, pag-aaral na ligtas sa lahat ng panahon. Sulong edukalidad sa bawat pagkakataon. Homeschooling, alternatibong paraan ang mga magtuturo, mga magulang. Learning materials, kukunin sa paaralan o dadalhin na lamang sa kanilang mga barangay. Sa blended learning, lahat-lahat pagsasamahin, masiguro lamang lessons ay makarating. TV, radyo, module, online, anuman ang gamitin. Ang mahalaga, tuloy pa rin ang teaching learning. Sulong edukalidad, magpapatuloy na kalidad na edukasyon. Pinakamatibay na pundasyon, pag-aaral na ligtas sa lahat ng panahon. Sulong edukalidad, ligtas na pag-aaral para sa kabataan, karunungan ng mamamayan, yaman ng bayan. Blended learning, lahat-lahat pagsasamahin, masiguro lamang lessons ay makarating. TV, radyo, module, online, anuman ang gamitin. Ang mahalaga, tuloy pa rin ang teaching learning. Magpapatuloy na kalidad na edukasyon, pinakamatibay na pundasyon, pag-aaral na ligtas sa lahat ng panahon. Sulong edukalidad sa bawat pagkakataon, ligtas sa lahat ng panahon, kabataan itong henerasyon.
Panibagong taon ng kanuruan, paano gagawin na may kaligtasan? Halika na sumama sa akin na tingnan, pakinggan mo ang pinig na paaralan.
Eskwela na naman yung normal ating maghandaan, matalinong pinano lahat ng pagbabago para sa kaligtasan mo. Muling nasain ang isipan sa bagong blended learning na paaralan, DepEd ay kaagapay sa atin ay kakabay sa ligtas na paglalakbay. Sama-sama tayo, tulong-tulong, edukasyo'y patuloy nating isulong. Kinabukasan ng bawat kabataan sa alang-alang gamit ang masigtas na pamamaraan. Iwasan ang face-to-face, pwede ang cellphone, TV at radio base, 'cause all we need is to be safe. Sa modular at online class, lahat tayo ligtas. Ito ang bagong yugto ng taon, sabay-sabay tayong humarap sa bagong hamon. Kaya nating lahat tayo sama-samang magkaisa.
Yo, come on everybody, we can do it. Kaya natin lahat to kahit na mahirap. mahirap tayo'y babangon. Lahat tayo'y aahon, tulong-tulong, lahat susulong. Buhay may gulong na pagulong-gulong, madalas ilalim, minsan ibabaw, titiklop at hindi aayaw. Patuloy lang tayo na lumaban, sa may kapal ay manalig lamang ng isip hanggang bukas, isulong ang iyong kalidad. Edukasyon ay di titigil, karunay di papitigil. Di mo na kailangan na mga bat sa new normal ay ligtas ka.
Tayo tulong-tulong.
Bakit eskwela na naman?
Edukasyo'y patuloy natin.
Tira ang iyong isipan.
Napakasan ang bawat kabataan. Saan ang talang gamit ang mas ligtas na pamamaraan. Sama-sama tayo tulong-tulong.
Bakit eskwela na naman?
Edukasyo'y patuloy natin.
Tira ang iyong isipan.
Napakasan ang bawat
Hanggang isip.
kabataan. Saan ang talang gamit ang mas ligtas na pamamaraan. Iwasan ang face-to-face. Pwede ang cellphone, TV at radio base. All we need is to be safe. Sa modular at online class, lahat tayo ligtas.
Mahirap tayo'y babangon, lahat tayo ay
Tayo
aaw.
ligtas.
Mahirap tayo'y babangon, lahat tayo ay
Once again, welcome back, fellow teachers, to this LDM2 orientation. So I hope you have noticed that every time we are asked to do some health break, after that, when we sit back, we feel so relaxed and ready for the next series of sessions. So that is how healthful health breaks are. And so now we are going to move on to our next session. So earlier, our first speaker, Sir Peralta, mentioned about the modules. So now we are going to have a walkthrough on the different LDM2 modules for module LDM2 module for teachers. And this will be facilitated by Dr. LCE Gagabe, the Education Program Supervisor for MAPE.
Good morning, everyone. How are we today? We are always wishing everybody to stay safe and stay healthy. Let me proceed with our presentation for the LDM2 modules for teachers. I'll be sharing with you some slides and some concepts on how we deliver our session 3. On the slide is the session 3, that is LDM2 for teachers. That's walkthrough of the LDM2 modules for teachers. This session's objective is that we will be reminding us and give us an idea, to give us a discussion on the module's objective, the content, duration, activities, and the expected outputs. Welcome to session 3.1, the course orientation. In this part, the objective is to describe what is this course all about and how this will help us manage the teaching learning process in the selected modalities. The contents of this course are consistent, are 2 lessons. The first lesson is the course overview, and the second lesson is the organizing our learning action cells. Fortunately, this is for 4 hours, and lax sessions may be optional. To continue, lesson 1 has 3 activities rather. The course overview, activity 1 is that we are directed to reflect on the course overview. And after which, we proceed to activity 2, on which we describe our context. And to end lesson 1, activity 3 ends this by discussing our answers to activities 1 and 2. In other words, based on our reflections, we can discern on what are our answers, our reflections, and our insights, perspectives, and thoughts on this lesson 1, the course overview. After which, we will be proceeding to lesson 2,
This is now the organizing our learning action cells. The three activities that consist of this lesson 2 are the following. We'll be reading or reviewing DO 35 series of 2016, and we will be reflecting on the contents of it, on its details, so that when we proceed to activity 2, we conduct our first LAC session or learning action cells. We will be taking notes on the composition of our LAC group. In this part of the lessons, there will be no outputs to be submitted. So in other words, we will be continuing the journey on reflecting and getting ready to take off with the next lesson. Welcome to session 3.2, and this is all about the most essential learning competencies. After we organize our learning action cells members, our strategies and how do we deliver, given our review on DepEd Order 35 Series 2016 on LAC sessions, and how we strategize, especially that we are required to conduct our activity on non-face-to-face basis. So let us try to take a look on how do we appreciate our most essential learning competencies. The objective of this part is that we can be explain the background and development of the MELCs. So we will be reflecting on how the MELCs were developed, and then our responsibility is to unpack the MELCs. How do we strategize across learning areas or the discipline or the learning areas that we are assigned? And then we combined our related competencies into learning objectives. This is the time that we can be innovative, inventive enough in terms of simplifying the facilitation of our most essential learning competencies. The content of this part is that we will be having this background, determining the background, knowing or reviewing again the rationale and the development of the most essential learning competencies. In other words, whatever learning area that we are assigned to teach, we're assigned to facilitate, or we are assigned to deliver these competencies to our learners, it is important for us to understand or re-understand how these most essential learning competencies were generated given our curriculum guide. After having the lesson 1, we will be proceeding to lesson 2. This is the time that we need to review our innovativeness, our inventiveness in simplifying the unpacking and combining the MELCs into learning objectives. As we see, there are sometimes confusing when it comes to determining the difference between learning competencies and learning objectives. And I am sure that most of us are equipped in terms of determining the difference and how do we unpack it and be able to substantiate and operationalize this when we deliver or facilitate our lesson to our learners. In lesson 1, there are 4 activities. First of all, we need to reflect on the learning continuity and the congested curriculum. In this way, the facilitators or the technical assistance providers, such as the master teachers, supervise the school heads, and the learning area supervisors, we can now learn or relearn on how are this learning continuity be related to this congested curriculum in terms of its simplification. After having the activity 1, the team will now proceed to activity 2. In this case, we need to familiarize on the design and development of the MELCs. This is critical because if we do not really understand the content, the performance standard, content standard, learning competencies, we cannot facilitate and operate these competencies given our learning objectives. So in other words, we need to understand the details of each learning competencies that is contributing to the wholeness of the content of our lesson, of our competencies. After we familiarize, we're able to familiarize, then we can proceed to activity 3. We can now compare the difference between and among K-12 competencies and the MELCs. So as you can see, let me take a closer example on the comparison of the K-12 competencies and MELCs. In practical research too, as we have reviewed, the competencies for review of related literature were 12. And it is really surprising that in the MELCs, from the 9 learning competencies of reviewing related literature, there are only 1 competence is retained, and this is the right review of related literatures. In other words, the competences numbers 1 to 8 were deleted, and it jumped off or proceed right away to writing review of related literature. So in other words, guys, it is really important for us as teachers to familiarize the set of learning competencies given the curriculum guide from K to 12 and extracting those to make it the most essential learning competencies. And after which, now we are ready to discuss comprehensively. And we really know the holistic overview of our activity 1, 2, and 3 and its interrelatedness. When the lesson is done, lesson 1 is done by the team, they can now proceed to lesson 2. This is now the unpacking and combining MELCs into learning objectives. The unpacking and combining of MELCs into learning objectives, again, escalates its critical thinking among us teachers and also the coaches. Because in the first activity, we'll be identifying some considerations when we unpack and combine the MELCs. In other words, there are competencies that are that can be blended, especially if it is a performance task or if it is written task. It is important for us to consider if this can be blended, if this can be fused, or if this has to be unpacked. Like for example, one competence is in music. The lesson 1 is that identifying 2/4, 3/4, and 4/4 time signature in one day only. Well, of course, the student or grade 4 pupil cannot do that performing 2/4, 3/4, and 4/4 time signature. So in other words, the module writer or the teacher has to unpack. The first day is the 2/4 time signature. The second day or the second session is the 3/4 time signature. And the third or next day is the 4/4 time signature. And that is the way how we try to make our competencies more simpler to the learners. And after we identify some considerations, if we have learned to familiarize the design of the MELCs, then we are now able to unpack and combine learning objectives into our learning action cell sessions. And after which, we can submit our activity to outputs to our LAC leader, given that all assumptions that is given from each activities are done by the teacher. So the expected output here, guys, is that individual or the LAC group presentation shall present on their sample of unpacking the MELCs. Welcome to session 3.3A. And this is, we design instruction in different learning delivery modalities. Oh, again, it's a challenging one. After we understand, differentiate our K-12 curriculum guides and its difference to MELCs, and how we unpack and put it into learning objectives to make it more substantive in its operation, we now design our different learning modalities. The objectives in this part are the following. We will be differentiating between the LDMs prescribed in the LCP, the Learning Continuity Plan, and among the different types of distance learning modalities. After we differentiate the difference, after we determine that, we apply the lesson design and assessment, considering the distance learning in the light of the COVID-19 crisis. And then we can create weekly home learning plans to guide, of course, our learners as they do independent study at home, of course, as teachers. We have to guide ourselves on how do we facilitate our learners who are independently studying at home. Then we can create individual learning monitoring plan. Another challenge, because we have lots of learners with different learning modalities, to keep track the progress of our learners who are lagging behind in completing the prescribed learning task. As you can see, there's difference between elementary and secondary teachers, or even senior high school teachers, if I may emphasize that. In elementary teachers, they will be serving 8 learning areas. In the secondary teachers, they'll only be preparing 2 learning areas for 2 grade levels, perhaps, but they have lots of numbers of students. Perhaps the secondary, the high school teachers will be dealing with 300 to 350 learners, while they'll only be preparing 2 learning areas. On the contrary, the elementary teachers shall deal only with 50 to 60 pupils, but they will be dealing with 8 learning areas. So there's a variation of our strategies in terms of how do we substantiate and operationalize this one. So there we are, guys. We will be proceeding with our lessons 1, 2, and 3. And we need to first understand the different learning delivery modalities. I am sure that each one of us has, we have different perspectives on how do we strategize our LDMs. After we understood that, we can now design our lesson in our lesson 2. We'll be designing the lessons and assessments, whether performance tasks or written tasks, in the different learning delivery modalities. So challenging. It's because there are limitations of our resources. And after we can design our lessons and assessment, then we can proceed by having our guide and monitor tool to make learners, to monitor learners or track learners in the different learning delivery modalities. In other words, even if our co-teachers in the special education program, they have individual tracking of learners' performance. This time, we'll be adapting also our innovativeness, as I have said, our inventiveness in terms of tracking our learners' performance. Let me proceed. In lesson 1, we need to understand the different LDMs. How do we do this? There are 4 activities. First, we need to define the modalities prescribed in the respective learning continuity plan. After defining the modalities, of course, we need to understand and re-understand and put it into our system that is the way that we are doing it. Now, we are ready for activity 2. We need to deep dive into distance learning through our learning action cells. In other words, reviewing, re-understanding, recapacitating ourselves in terms of how do we make this more substantive to what? Be ready with activity 3. We can rank the types of distance learning plus the LACs, or the learning action cells. In ranking the types of distance learning, there are lots of assumptions that we can take into account, on which it will really depend on where are we situated, so that we can be ready with activity 4, and that is identifying the targeted interventions for learners with special concerns. So what are these special concerns? Not only for the capability or the readiness of our learners, given also our readiness as teachers, we need also to take into account the needs of our learners, the special needs of our learners, their distance, their home situation, their localities, the signal, of course, the Wi-Fi connection, the resources available at home. Of course, given that we are all ready with our printed modules, but because of the variations of the learning modalities of our learners, we need to really strategize on how do we classify, sorting out our interventions. If the team is ready, done with lesson 1, with the 4 activities, it is expected that all of us or most of our teachers can now understand the different LDMs. Then they can proceed, or we can now proceed to lesson 2. Designing lessons and assessment in the different LDMs. There are how many activities? 4 activities. There are 7 activities. In activity 1, the identifying vital components of a well-designed lesson is expected from us. Of course, we are familiar already with our competencies, our performance standards, and learning standards. Then we can identify vital components and how do we make our lessons designs, the individual learning plan. And then we can be ready with a sequencing learning task given the different interventions or different learning modalities. And then we take back, like reflecting on how do we improve our lesson. Like, tama na ba ni? Or unsa may maayo ani? This is the concept of the continuous improvement concept or theory can be injected. Like, we will be removing the non-value or the non-essentials so that we can go through the simplification of our deliveries. After which, the team is now ready for activity 4. This is now the using and supplementing the SLMs plus the LAC. Let me proceed with lesson 2. After that, the activity 5 will facilitate us into identifying the similarities and differences between formative and summative assessments. Assessments can come in. What could be the proper or appropriate way of assessing our students? When is formative and when is summative appropriate in this time of learning modalities? And after identifying the similarities and differences, now we can adapt assessment methods in distance learning through our LAC session. That is in the activity 6. It is quite challenging, ladies and gentlemen, because this will be the time that we need to sort things out. So after you make a staple, you make sort, you make put those SLMs to the envelopes, to the folders, and be given to the parents who will be collecting the SLMs. This time we will get ready and equip ourselves on how do we make these things, from the designing of the lessons to assessments. And what must be our method of adopting these assessment methods to make our tracking of performance to the learners be really more effective. Then the team is ready for activity 7, building a learner's portfolio. Okay, portfolio can be soft copy or can be in hard copy. Portfolios, learner's portfolio is one way of tracking or a form of means of verification where our learners are learning enough or lagging behind or needs coaching or needs follow-up or needs a partnership with the parents in order to get evidence that the learners are really, or a learner is really learning. Portfolio can be in electronic type, or portfolio can be in hard copy and then scanned or screenshots anywhere. But as I have said, we teachers are capable enough of this inventiveness in terms of building these strategies. Anyway, the details of this lesson 2, they 7 activities under lesson 2 are in our hard copies or soft copies, which will be given to us by the HR later on. Then the team is ready for lesson 3. This is how do we guide, how do we monitor learners and the different LDMs. There are 4 activities. First activity is then we understand the weekly home learning plan. Oops, tama na ba ni? Is this appropriate enough? Good enough for our learners? Appropriate enough? Justifiable enough? And then, dili ba ko mabash, ani? Something like that. There's a joke. Let me have this one. Like, naingon si teacher nga, students, ayon taon ninyo i-post ang mga typographical error ng mga modules. Kaya dili bitaw na mo i-post ang inyong mga wrong answers. Haha, peace. Anyway, it is supposed to be a joke. You're supposed to laugh. Anyway, if we understand the weekly home learning plan, that our design is really, really good and appropriate for the learners, then the team can proceed to activity 2, and this is creating a weekly home learning plan through LAC session, something like that. So when we create, of course, we can discuss with our colleagues online, We can copy and paste if it is appropriate. O, di ba? And then we can also consult some parents on okay ba ning home learning plan, something like that, or any way that you can facilitate or simplify the modes as the cliche goes. Work smartly, not hardly this time. So if we are ready with our created weekly home learning plan, then we can differentiate the weekly home learning plan from the individual learning monitoring plan. So in other words, differentiating this task is somewhat an easy part, given or assuming that we have understood the preliminaries of these activities. Now we can create our individual learning monitoring plan through LAC session. Then again, the weekly home learning plan and the individual learning monitoring plan can, of course, be discussed through online with our friends, our colleagues, or our study group, our peers study group, so that we can at least compare and we can compare our effectiveness, our efficiency in terms of preparing the plan. Although, guys, these are all plans, but what is important is how do we deliver this? And we can see some evidences that our plans are really effective. Okay? Now, let's proceed. The expected outputs for these activities are first, we have the list of targeted learner interventions. So, it's a list. Pila kaya na siya kabook inyong mahuna-hunaan. And then the learning tasks for the DL, the assessment methods, the weekly home learning plan for one subject perhaps. Daghana po ng 8 kabuok, no? And the individual learning monitoring plan for a student who lags behind in completing the learning task. And then the LAC 3 teacher engagement report and the LAC 3 session report. Mind you, ladies and gentlemen, friends, of course, the technical assistants or the TA providers are the master teachers, of course, we, the education program supervisors assigned in the learning areas that we're into, are always be there online 24/7. We can talk it about, we can have it improved, we can make our plans more possible so that the substantiation and operationalization of our plans be more effective and efficient and be appreciated by the learners and also by our parents. The last part is the session 3.3b. This is the learning resources. The objective of this part is that we need to associate learning resources with specific learning modalities. How do we do that? We have to access resources from the online portals such as DepEd Commons or the LR portals that we have in our Department of Education. In our case, we have this division LR portal. And then we can explain the importance of using quality assured LRs. Let us consider the content, the wholeness or the holistic approach of our learning resources. In this particular session, there are 3 lessons. The first lesson is that all about learning resource maps for distance learning. How do we do that? Of course, this will be discussed in details given our materials. And then in lesson 2, we are about to learn how do we access the learning resources from our DepEd portals, especially selecting so that we can associate our learning resources with our given specific learning modalities. And in session 3, we can assess the learning materials or learning resource materials so that we can understand if the content or even the quality of the content of our materials and the wholeness of it are really assured that it's effective for learners' consumption. And also to us, to guide us on how do we improve ourselves, capacitating ourselves to these newer sensibilities. This is the new normal, so we need also to adapt newer sensibilities so that our learners can appreciate and learning can be fun. In lesson 1, the learning resource maps for distance learning has 2 activities. So this is the answering questions about the learning resources map. discussing answers to activity 1 through our last session. So in other words, there'll be series of discussions yet all about learning resource map. Then the team can proceed to lesson 2. It's all accessing learning resources from DepEd portals. The activity 1 is that how do we access and explore LR portals and DepEd Commons, and then we can discuss answers. And again, not face-to-face, in non-face-to-face manner, even chat, text, Google, Messenger, or in any way that we can reach our friends of our team. In lesson 3, we need to assess the learning resource materials. There are 4 activities in this lesson. First is the using the LR rapid assessment tool to assess a DepEd material. How do we do that? There's a tool, and we need also to understand how do we utilize the LR rapid assessment tool so that we can assess our material. How do we do that? We need to assess LR materials from non-DepEd LR portals, platforms. Then we assess our own learning resources. And again, we can discuss our answers to our activities 1, 2, 3 through last session. Guys, there's expected output here. There are 2 outputs. Accomplished rapid assessment tools with reflections. So in here, from sessions, the 3.3, the session 3, composed of this understanding our most essential learning competencies in difference with our K-12 curriculum guide, and the preparation of our lesson, the individual tracking system, and our materials, plus our interventions. I think the teachers are equipped enough, but this time it's all adapting how do we modify, redirect, and put this into newer sense so that our learners can really feel that learning is still fun, though they cannot see or say hi or their teachers physically. But through online, they still need that they are still feeling their teacher's presence, whether virtual, in print, or in distance learning modalities. With that, ladies and gentlemen, have a good day and good luck to all of us. God bless us all.
Thank you very much, Dr. Elsie Gagabe, for that very comprehensive walkthrough of the different sessions for teachers as we are going to undergo this LDM2. So the session talked about the different teaching and learning processes of teachers. So regardless of what is the learning modality that has been adopted by the school, there should be teaching and learning processes should vary. Assessment would also vary. And there is a monitoring of learning, as mentioned by Dr. Elsie Gagabe earlier, the ILM plan, which is the Individual Learning Monitoring Plan. So it's about monitoring learning of our students, those who have lagged behind. And again, since there are different learning modalities, there will also be different designs of assessment. So kaya sinabi ni Doc Elsie kanina, we are going to redirect. It's a decision to redirect, to redesign, depending on the learning modality that has been adopted by the school. So I know kanina na-mention ni Doc Elsie, there will be a lot of challenges. But again, we are in this pandemic. We are on the same boat. We share the same challenges, and everybody is adjusting. Our learners are also adjusting without us in a face-to-face instruction. We know and we accept too that we will also have to adjust to be able to be able to deliver learning uh, even during this time of pandemic. So again, we take all these challenges because again, we are on the same boat of this pandemic. So thank you very much, Doc Elsie, and we look forward to the soft copy or hard copy of these modules for LDM2. Thank you very much. And so now we are going to proceed to our next session that is still a continuation of Gagabe's session, but that will be focusing on session 3.4 and 3.5. And to continue with the walkthrough of the LDM2 modules for teachers, please welcome Dr. Leia M. Camilotes, the Principal 2 of Mintal Comprehensive Comprehensive High School.
Ma'am Debs,
Ma'am Leia, excuse me, Ma'am Leia, your mic is on mute.
Oh,
Take two.
yeah, take two. Good morning,
Okay,
everyone. My courtesy and respect to all our division leaders and to all our school heads and teachers watching. It is indeed a very delightful morning to each and everyone. So, my task is the topic 3.4 and 3.5. Allow me now to share to you my screen. Share screen. And this one. Okay. Here is it. Share. Slideshow. Right, available here. It's logging. Yeah. Yes. It's session 3.4, the planning for continuing professional development plan, and session 3.5. Again, this is Leia M. Camilotes, the principal of Mintal Comprehensive High School. Session 3.4, planning for continuing professional development and block planning. Our objectives is to carry out our plan for continuing professional development, discuss the different professional development initiatives and programs related to the learning delivery modalities that are available to you, either provided by the DepEd or non-DepEd learning service providers. And you are going to develop a PD plan, including the learning action plan. And of course, commit to that professional growth and development. So preferably the content are the reflecting of professional life and development, and for lesson 2, the planning for continuing professional development and participation in the lab. Okay, I would like to show you what are really the tasks. Is this another insurmountable task to added burden for us teachers? Or what really is this? Is this really an additional scary task to do aside from the modules and all? Now, let me show you on this activity. Let's try to see what are really these things. Like for the activity 1, we're going to fill out that professional assessment questionnaire. On activity 2, we are going to identify the PPSD indicators to focus on and to set up these LDM-related PD goals. Okay, let's try. This is our activity 1. So, as simple as that, you are going to accomplish honestly as you are on the things that are happening with our uh, LDM2 learning. So you have there, maybe you would say, Mom, what's that LDM2 LAC ID number required? When you will be grouped according to your LAC, yeah, and that would be the Slack grouping, you will have that number. So this is simple as this. For that activity one, the filling out, which topics were easy to learn, which topics were challenging to learn, what can I do to overcome the challenges to effectively learn, and what technical assistance do I need to effectively learn. That's for activity one. So easy, right? Now moving on to LDM2 outputs. Which outputs were easy to accomplish? Which outputs were challenging to accomplish? What can I do to overcome the challenges to accomplish the outputs? What technical assistance do I need to accomplish the outputs? Maybe you would say, what technical assistance do I really want? Now, there are forms of technical assistance. It could be an information sharing. It could be a capability building. It could be a group or work management. And that's it. Maybe you would say, Mom, what's the difference between the coaching and the technical assistance? Mom Eleanor a while ago discussed it. And then coaching is more of relational type of support. Sometimes it is a short-term relationship, right? When you are already be an expert of that, your coach will somehow leave you and give you the best that you can. While the TA, it is in a wider scope. It is really from the education specialists. So TA comes really from the learned, from the experts that we have. So just be honest accomplishing this, and this could be one of our outputs. See, this LDM2 for teachers are quite easy. Now, moving on, we also have the making of our, what you call this? The RPMS or the PPST objectives to focus on. Now, this is another activity that you have. You are just to focus at least 3 or maybe 2 among our PPST indicator. Now, let's always keep that in mind that we are just having to update our skills, assessment of teachers based on the PPST, but with the perspective of teaching in the new LDMS. Example, what really is challenging to us this time? I could say that it's the management of the virtual classroom structure to engage learners individually or in groups. We have a lot of experience, right? And somehow I would like to focus on this thing. So focus on the objectives that is aligned, anchored on our PPST indicators. What I really wanted to explain is simply we all have this. This is not new. We are doing this. But just at this time, we shall be focusing on to what is needed, especially in this our new normal. Actually, all of these things, our main purpose is to ensure learning is reinforced, applied, and measured. So if you are going to have this, uh, to focus on the PPST objectives, at least at around 3 or from 1 to 10, you will have 4. That would be best, but 3 is quite safe, and then you can really focus on. So we have that, and we can actually anchor that on our uh, RPMS PPST. So another activity that we are trying to employ is to our continuing professional development. So DepEd actually give us the guidelines for the implementation of that continuing professional development. So this is already institutionalized. Republic Act 10912, otherwise known as the Continuing Professional Development Act of 2016, provides the state shall institute measures that will continuously improve the competence of the professionals in accordance with the international standards of practice, thereby ensuring their contribution in uplifting the general welfare, economic growth, and development of the nation. That is why, pursuant to the provision of the law, teachers as professionals should be able to show proof of continuing professional development every time we renew our professional license. And this really gives me an excitement on what we call our Slack. Okay, what is the CPD? So it is the inculcation of advanced knowledge, skills, ethical values in a post-licensure, specialized, or in an inter or multidisciplinary field of study for assimilation into professional practice, self-directed research, and or for lifelong learning. So, DepEd has a lot of forms of CPD. The following can be submitted to NEA for possible PRC accreditation. We have these training programs. The Learning Action Cell Session. So imagine our school-based Slack, what we call that the Slack, that is international standards. Di ay alang-alang, no? So when you become the speaker in the Slack, you are given the opportunity for such. Wow, that's really great. So this time, Slacks will give us a new perspective. This could be used for our PRC accreditation. We have the conferences, the webinars right now, the workshop, and the other forms of the CPD initiatives, of which I know we are all familiar with this because most of us have a lot of certificates already ready for our CPD accreditation or our points. So it's so easy for us. And we are going to make our individual development plans. So this is part of our outputs or tasks. Development plans, so this is not new to us. Every end of the school year, we are going to submit this. Sometimes, I just hope that each one is honest enough, not just the copy-paste, not just the things that we did in the previous school year will be the same things that we put it into our development plans or the part 4. Now, what gives me a new insight is the strength. I thought really that when it is a strength, I'm good at this, though, so I will not need any of reinforcement. But somehow, as I go over with this LDM2, I have learned one thing. When we put strength in here, it is supposed to be, we are really good at it. But since our good is not enough, so we need to be reinforced. As a while ago I said, just focus on this and that, and after you will learn that, example is objective 3. To apply a range of teaching strategies to develop critical and creative thinking as well as the higher order thinking skills. That is my strength. But I know I still have needs to be reinforced. I still need a coach at PA for this, how to apply this range of teaching that I will be able to make my students use and develop their critical thinking skills. So for the action plan or for the developmental intervention, we could have acquire techniques and strategies on the art of questioning that will enable to develop hacks among the students. For the intervention, we could apply new learning from attending courses, webinars or seminars, workshops, and again, look at here, the lack and the e-learning. So that's it, the individual development plan. Do not get worried. You will have a soft copy on the things that we have discussed. So it's a sample, and so look at it. It's as easy as this. Moving now into section 3.5, the building the teaching portfolio related to the implementation of the modalities. I know portfolios, we usually require that with the students. I myself even require teachers to have their own portfolios. And this is really not new to us. But at this point, we will be given a new perspective as well. So for the 3.5, you are to list down the evidence of the LDM implementation. We will really work on with our documentation culture. I know that for quite so long, we are not so used with our documentation and we don't have files on it. But as we begin to really have these portfolios, each one of us are always get ready with the photos, the e-copies and all. And every time the MOBs arrive. So here, we are going to list down to plan our professional practice and the teaching portfolio and its contents and the evaluation rubrics. I would just like to have you a peep on what are those things so that after this trade, after this orientation, you will say, it's easy. All right, our activity for the teaching portfolio is to check completion of modules 1 to 4 requirements. Activity 2 is we're going to reflect on building my portfolio. Activity 3 is reflecting on buried evidences to complete my portfolio. You will have some discussions from your lab again and submitting the finalized list of suggested evidence form to assigned LAC leader. It was stated who are the LAC leaders. Yeah, the master teacher, the head teachers, and those that are specialists. And for lesson 2, the evaluation rubric. So activity 1 is understanding the LDM2 teachers evaluation rubric. And the expected output after all of this, you are going to submit your portfolio. So let's check it out. Here is the checklist of module requirements for LDM2. So you can find there the lab form, the profile, the roles, the targeted learners. So those are the things, the assessment, the weekly home learning plan, the individual learning monitoring plan of the students. All of the things mentioned should really be found in our portfolios. So the learning resources, the accomplished LR, the needs of the school, the assessment with reflections, and for module 2, the TA coaching plan and the TA activities documents. It's simple. The things that you have experienced, that you have done, put it in the portfolio and that's it. Okay, the technical assistance, you can have this one with your guidebook. Okay, the list of evidence. Here, the type of technical assistance. I was mentioning the information sharing, the capability building, the group of management work, the timeline of data collection, and the documentation of TA activity. So everything that you have experienced, just document it. That is for the MOBs, and that would be the list of evidence. Here is the evaluation rubric. We wanted to have that excellent portfolio. So the rest is very satisfactory and unsatisfactory, but we try to look at the 30% for the demonstration of progress of provisional of TA assistance. See, that's 30%. The quality of reflection. It describes the experience in the provision of technical assistance. So based from your experiences, one that is being happening, that is really been doing, helping us out, you have to have it. That's the quality of reflection. Hindi lang magbutang-butang, no? In the demonstration of professional standards, see the outputs clearly demonstrate 5 or more indicators of relevant strands in professional standards. I am reading the excellent part. The language and overall presentation of the output, that's 15%. Of course, the ideas are expressed clearly. The organization of portfolio, or our style, our creativity, our packaging. The portfolio is logically organized, is insightful, and offers new perspective and insights. In other words, after all these things, our portfolio could also be replicated in the timeliness. This really perks me up, awakens me. The output is submitted more than 3 days ahead of the deadline. See, that's what makes you excellent. The cramming time, the adrenaline rush. So with that, as an excellent, 3 days ahead of the deadline. So to refresh, what is this portfolio? It is a compilation of academic work and other forms of educational evidence assembled for the purpose of evaluating our coursework quality, our learning progress and achievement. Number 2, determining whether we have met the standards or other academic requirements. Number 3, helping you to reflect on your academic goals and progress as teacher. And number 4, creating a lasting archive of academic work products, accomplishments, and other documentation. Whether it's a student portfolio or anything like this, it's really, that is a portfolio. Some would say it's a dossier. It's a French word. Compiling our best work that everybody could look up into and have some insights and replicate the best that we can. That ends my topic for the 3.4 and 3.5. God bless us all and let us enjoy the LDM2 for teachers. Good morning.
Thank you very much, Dr. Leah. While I was listening to it, listening about portfolio, I was brought back to teachers making portfolio in their TIPs, right? So when we start with our new job, we receive teacher induction programs for teachers, and in this new normal, I think teachers should also receive an induction program because this is a new setup for all of us. This is a new normal education. Diba po, Ma'am Lay?
Yes.
Okay.
So,
And
30 days ahead of time.
parang gaano, kasi parang tinagaan mo, parang while listening to you, parang tapos na ako sa aking portfolio.
So, getting into the real content of it, this LDM2 is not a scary thing. It's really a big help for the teachers.
So we will be enjoying doing our portfolio. And it's like hitting 2 birds with 1 stone. Tama po ba, Ma'am Leah? Because the training program, we are going to receive a certificate for our training program, which we can use for our CPD. And at the same time, the series of LAC sessions that we are going to do can also be a part of the CPD accreditation. Tama?
Yeah, that's LAC. Imagine this LAC, you will be doing it with the international standards. So it gives us a new perspective for our SLAC, right? It's not just, di ko maapit kay siyara na nag-istorya. Okay, this time it's a new perspective. It really has to be that way. That could be a CPD point.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Lay. I am going to get back to you during our open forum po. Thank you very much.
Okay, good morning.
So that was Dr. Leia M. Camilotes. And now we will move on to our next session and the last session, that is session 4. And we are going to talk about the synthesis, our next step, and the activities. And this will be facilitated to us by, again, Dr. Romulo N. Peralta, the Principal 2 of Calina National High School.
Diba sabi ko magbabalik ako, kaya nagbabalik ako muli ngayon for the last session of the orientation. But actually, this will just, of course, it will just take 5 minutes to answer the activity. You have to list down top 3 takeaways from this activity. Ang gagawin nyo, isusulat nyo lang sa comment box para malaman natin yung mga takeaways ninyo. Takeaways would mean yung mga natutunan natin, yung mga naiwan sa isip natin habang nakikinig doon sa mga tao na nagbigay ng kanilang presentation. And after writing all those takeaways from this activity, the evaluation will follow. And I think Ma'am Inday or Ma'am Develin will be the one to flash on our screen the link to be used for the evaluation of this orientation. So I will give you time this time. I will give you time to write down all those takeaways na natutunan nyo dun sa mga activities na yon, sa lahat ng mga presentations. So isusulat nyo lang dun sa box. Hindi na kailangan gumamit ng Manila paper. Okay? So pwede na magsimula yung mga takeaways natin from the activity. And mababasa natin lahat yan. Then, ipa-flash ni Ma'am Divs yung ating link for the evaluation of the orientation. Balik sa'yo, Ma'am Inday, or Ma'am Develin. Sorry, Ma'am Develin.
It's okay, Sir Mulong. Thank you very much. So, sabi ni Sir Mulong, wala lang 2 minutes. Wala lang talagang 2 minutes, di ba? So, I would like to remind our participants to register using our attendance link po. And then we are going to flash later the evaluation link as mentioned earlier by Sir Mulong. And for your 3 takeaways, pakisulat na lang po sa mga comments boxes ng inyong YouTube and Facebook. And so in a few moments, we are going to proceed with our open forum while you are doing or writing your 3 takeaways. And we would also like to acknowledge our teacher participants from other divisions po. As I have seen in our comments, we have other teachers from other divisions po who are watching us live. So thank you very much and welcome to Davao City. So, Sir Mulong, I would like to read one of the takeaways that has been posted in our comment po. This LDM2 for teachers is not a scary thing to do, but it can help us develop our skills. In our portfolio, we need to achieve the excellent. Wow.
Excellence talaga.
As in, ang gandang pakinggan, sir.
Siyempre, para hindi isipin ng mga taong nakikinig ngayon sa atin, tsaka yung mga tao outside the school na wala tayong ginagawa. Mas marami tayong ginagawa ngayon kesa dun sa mga, pag nagkaroon tayo ng face-to-face. Kung ako nga tatanungin, alin mas gusto ko, yung face-to-face o yung ganito, mas gusto ko yung nakikita ko yung mga estudyante. Kasi mas konti yung dapat mo ihanda.
Meron pa dito, Sir Mulong, LDM2 is not as difficult to accomplish as what we think.
Oo, tama. Because we will be printing the modules for the teachers per school. We will start printing the modules sa Calina National High School. I have submitted the materials to the printing room for reproduction na para ipamigay dun sa mga teachers when we have our last sessions.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. And I would like to take note also that is from Ma'am Evelyn Esperanza Akailar from the division of Dapitan City. Thank you very much for joining us this morning and welcome to Davao City.
As far as
Okay,
the pita from Inday.
yes po. So thank you very much, Sir Mulong, for that session. And now we are going to move on to our open forum. So I would like to request our speakers to be with us on screen for our open forum. We have Sir Mulong, we have Ma'am Leia, we also have Dr. Elsie Gagabe, and Ma'am Arlinor Abelardo. So, hindi po ito hot seat ha. I know you are ever ready. Okay, so I will throw the first question and this is for Doc Elsie.
Yes.
This is from Ma'am Joanne Requerme. Good morning po, Ma'am. May mga sample po ba ng mga activities for our guide? And this is for Doc Elsie.
Oh, hi, ma'am. With regards to sample for the activities that you are going to go through, there's no concrete example because this will be journeyed. This will be learned and relearned by the team, given through your learning action cells. And as I have said, when we do learning action cells or in our team, we will be provided technical assistance by our master teachers or even I myself, one of our education program supervisors, so that we can generate these activities more meaningful. Wala yung sample kasi what is important is we can generate the authenticity, the originality of our outputs given our learnings from the journeys from our discussion. So kung meron tayong prepare na samples for the activities for you to simulate or adapt, ay wala na tayong learning yan. What is the challenging here is that we have this authentic understanding, authentic learnings that we can generate meaningful learnings and meaningful outputs of our activities. Di ba, ma'am? Stay beautiful.
And healthy. So yung ginagawa, yun yung sample.
Exactly. Kasi kung mag-generate tayo ng sample, ay wala na. Dapat maganda ang sample and given it's maganda, it must be authentic.
Okay. Sige, thank you very much, Doc Els, and that is for Ma'am Joanne. Yes, Ma'am Lay?
Maybe they are asking for a template, right? How to answer it. So they are asking for that template, not really the word for word itself.
I have read here how to answer given that guys, this is the thing that I can share. You do not need to preempt. You just unload, just empty your shell so that new coffee can be poured out. Mainit na kape. Brewed coffee, nag-aso-aso. Kasi kung naanamang gutay gi-anticipate na mga answers, mga activities, responses, dili na siya meaningful. Mas maayo pa tong mag-copy-paste na lang ta sa lyrics of the song. Moto man tong i-answer, mas perfect pa to kay meaningful. Kung unsa nga to i-copy-paste nga lyrics of the song's activity sheets, mas meaningful pa to sa tuwa kontra sa mangita ta og sample of the activity. But anyway, guys, as I have said, let us just make fun of this. Bawal ang stress, kaya stay healthy, di ba? Ayaw magtuwa ng template. Ang template kita.
Bawal na stress.
Yeah.
So walay template tayo, ha? Okay, so other speakers, would you like to add more or add less? So with that, we can proceed to our next question.
Nakamute na si Arlene ba?
Next question naman.
Okay, ready na Arlene.
Maganda yung discussion ni Doc Elsie. Ng mga answers na nakita na ako sa FB, I've read all of them. Okay lang na siya gamiton as a guide because in your own station, lahi-lahi man taog sitwasyon. So, guide lang na siya. Ayaw yung taon ni copy-paste sama sa giingon ni Doc Elsie. Ayaw, kay nga no, dito pareha og kanang sakit. So, lahi-lahi ang resita sa lahi-lahi nga sakit. So, those will serve as guides only for us. Inani dahil na maka-open mind siya ba? Ikaw din ibot pasabot. So, dili gyud pwede nga i-copy paste kay dili to mao ang saktong tubag para sa imuhang sitwasyon. No? So, inana siguro Ma'am Debs.
Okay. Very well said. Thank you very much, Ma'am Arlinor. And let us move on to our next question. So our next question is, this is a question about individual learning, how to adapt this in a far-flung areas of Davao City where there is no available power supply. Paano daw gagawin yung individual learning monitoring kapag wala daw mga power supply sa kanilang mga lugar?
Who will? Can I?
Doc Els, yes.
Okay.
Ako?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, sure. This is the time that we have to test ourselves in terms of overcoming the challenges. First and foremost, if the learner is in far-flung areas, there are many ways. You know, we do not need to discuss the specifics of it. The key and the theory of this is that kung gusto, maraming paraan. Kung ayaw, maraming dahilan.
Okay, yes, Sir Mulong, kay
Ma'am Inday or Ma'am Debs. Hello, Ma'am Elsie. Hello, Ma'am Arlinor. Hello, Ma'am Leia. Hindi ko nakita yung connection ng power supply doon sa ILP. Kasi yung individual, sorry hindi ko lang nakita yung power supply doon. Yung individual learning monitoring plan, ito yung pag-monitor sa mga estudyante na naglalag doon sa ating sa binigyan ng mga modules sa atin. After 2 weeks or after how many weeks, we try to identify the needs of the students using the IL, yung tinatawag na individual learning monitoring plan. So dito natin makikita kung ano talagang kulang ng bata. Kasi iba-ibang pacing yung mga bata natin. So hindi ko nakikita yung connection ng power supply doon sa pag-monitor ng mga estudyante. Siguro, baka ang iniisip niya, baka virtual pa rin. Baka virtual pa rin ang pag-monitor. Pag nag-submit naman ng modules, yung mga bata, ng mga answers nila, makikita ka agad doon. Teachers will identify the needs of the students na kailangan ng supervision, close monitoring sa kanila. That's why we try to come up with the report na individual learning monitoring plan na nakikita doon yung pangalan ng bata.
Okay, meron dyan dito sa Buhangin District, we have 3 schools na wala mga internet, wala mga signal. So, ang problema karon ni teacher, how can I connect? Kung saan ako pag monitor sa progress ako mga estudyante, ma'am. So, I told the principal and the teacher na, ma'am, every now and then, mamalingki man na ilang mama. Subayon, kay ang bata di man kagawas. That is one way of checking the progress of our students. Murag mulakbit jud siya hapit sa eskwelahan to find out, to tell, to inform the teacher labi na mga leksyon nga naglisod ang bata. So, dili lang karon mga gingnan akong mga ma'am ug ang mga sir, ang principal nga every now and then ang parent orientation is not only once. It should be kanang paghatag sa pag-distribute o pag-retrieve sa mga modules na agad siya time for another parent-teacher conference. Mangutana tag na unsa na, what happened, para ma-follow up nato ang progress sa bata. It's about time na dili lang ta maguna-una nga mamaling kita, but we have to drop by sa school. Mura nag-appeal sa to itinerary nga appeal in going to the market, hahapit in town sa eskwelahan kay mangutana si teacher unsa nay tabo, asa dapit naglisod kay wala man tay means of communication, walay signal, di po kakuha ng radyo. So I have 3 schools here nga walay mga signal in town. So thank goodness gyud nga wala gyud ta COVID freeze na kay mga balay no. So kaloy sa Diyos, way mga virus ito napita, hopefully, no? So, ang pamaagi, appeal sa itinerary ko, going to market, hapit school, murag, anak na ilahang pamaagi kung mamalingki. So, one way of connecting through the parents or through kinsa man amahan o kinsa makato, dalikyat yun sa eskwelahan para ma-check ni teacher. Okay? So, nga akong na-experience so far, kay nag-monitor me last week during the first week nga paggikan sa pagsugod sa klase.
Yeah.
Yes,
I'd like to
yes,
say
Ma'am Ray.
something.
Okay. Yes, Doc.
Who's Doc?
We are
Yan
two
na.
doctors. Yes, Ma'am Ray. Acknowledge, Ma'am
Ma'am
Ray.
Leah.
Okay. Maybe the teacher really wanted to have personalized monitoring, the individuality of the student. Letters are still open. You can write, if you really wanted to monitor personally, letters, not just the answer sheets. You could have it. The modules could also be include with it the letters, so that the students will somehow feel that he is really being monitored, checked by the letters. So no need for the electricity. Sabi nga ni Ma'am Els, maraming paraan. Okay.
Yeah,
Yes, Doc.
I would like to commend the comment of Ma'am Belinda Cialana Villa Esther, and she is trying to contribute her perspective on this. She said, and I quote, "We should be aware of our learners' capabilities, especially those who are lagging behind. We must work collaboratively to attain our objectives, goals, and our portfolios must have the best of our accomplishments." So, in other words, this is one way of saying us that we can produce evidence as to how do we specifically track the learner's progress. Thank you, Ma'am Belinda.
Okay. Thank you very much, Doc Els. Exactly. Very important talaga ang monitoring. Hindi pwedeng nag-deliver tayo ng learning, hindi na natin i-monitor. So that is why it is really very important. And we will now move on to our next question. May question po dito from YouTube. When will the LDM for teachers be distributed? At saka kailan daw ang deadline ng portfolio? Grabe naman si Sir. Nung mga na-distribute, mag-submit na. And that is from Sir Elmer Fallier from Kalina National High School. Anyone? Anybody would like to answer?
Sir Falier,
Yes, Sir Mula.
magpiprint na po tayo ng LDM na mga modules. Naka-ready na po kasi binigay na sa amin yung mga kopya, yung mga soft copies. Ibibigay niya sa inyo pag nagkaroon na tayo ng session for the first time para ma-introduce sa inyo yung LAC, kung sino-sino yung mga members ng bawat grupo. And during that time, we're going to distribute the copies of the modules.
Yeah, mag-structure muna. Structure.
We will settle first the modules for the week 2s and up, and then the LDM comes next. So maybe next week. We will prepare first.
Okay, thank you very much. So, parang excited na lahat ang mga teachers. Exciting kaya gagawa ng portfolio. And when you do your portfolio and you look into the different activities, you will be reflecting, wow, ito na pala yung nagawa ko in the new normal and I am part of the new normal in education. Diba?
Ma'am Debs, i-flash ko lang, ito pala, ito yon. Konti lang siya para basahin ng mga teachers.
Okay, ilang pages lang daw, sir. Konti lang talaga. Okay, thank you very much. So, I think there are no more questions. So, I would like to thank very much our speakers, Dr. Peralta, Dr. Camilotes, Dr. Abelardo, Dr. Gagabe. Hindi dito pwedeng magpapag-swab test, ha? They are doctors of education po. So, thank you very much po for bringing us or walking us through the LDM2 for teachers to make us ready as we face the new normal. Kasi ngayon, totoong challenge na. The challenges are sprouting because we have already started the classes. So, ang mga challenges, real na real po. So, this is now how we are going to face the challenges of the new normal. Again, thank you very much.
Thank
and
you.
So, kasi tapos na tayo. Papa-end na yung program natin. No? So again, we would like to thank our Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Reynaldo M. Guiliana. Of course, before I forget, I would like to thank Sir Jason Barnes and Sir Edgar Alan Bantigue for consolidating the questions. So they were the ones responsible for bringing your questions from YouTube and Facebook uh, into our StreamYard platform. Uh, I would like to again thank our Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Reynaldo M. Guiliana, SESO 5, our ASDS, Ma'am Marilyn Deduyo, our Assistant Schools Division Superintendent again, Dr. Jinky B. Ferman, our CID Chief, Dr. Alma Sifra, our SGOD Chief, Dr. Teresita F. Del Valle, our SGOD Senior Specialist, Ma'am Jasmine Camilotes, our Division ITO Officer, Sir Gilbert Banluta, our NAYAP trainers, the participants of Davao City Division, and so with the other participants from other divisions, we thank you very much for joining us in this half-day orientation on the LMD2 for teachers. And so, we would also like to thank you for gluing yourselves to this training. And let us remember that this is part of the LCP, or the Learning Continuity Plan of the Department of Education. Our school heads have already been trained on LDM1, which was sometime in June, when we were also attending webinars. And now we are, as teachers, we are trained on the LDM2. So both school heads and teachers have been trained on LDM. So we hope that we are on the same boat so that we can reach the same destination. And we would also like to acknowledge Sir JP also Horomat for being with us in consolidating the questions of our participants and bringing them into our live stream. We would like to post our attendance link. Please keep watch of this so that you will be able to log into our attendance link. And we would also like to acknowledge Sir Michael Binghay for providing us the music earlier. Ang ganda ng mga upbeat music. So, with that, shall we end now, Ma'am Jasmine? Okay. Ang link sa evaluation na ano ba? So, Sir Gail, we would like to ask our ITO officer, Sir Gail, to post our evaluation link po, and also our attendance link, kasi meron dito mga concern that they were not able to register using the attendance link po. So those were our links. So please don't forget to log into those links for our attendance and evaluation link. So before we are going to close this program, I would like to request everybody to please bow your head as we thank God for all the graces and the blessings that He has showered us. And so we pray. Thank you, Lord, for we have finished our orientation on LDM2 for teachers. Help us to embrace the challenges of this new normal. Grant us the desire to continue to serve the children amidst the continuing threats of the COVID-19 pandemic. Make us work in a way that all our plans and actions are aligned to your most holy will. Shower us your divine guidance so that we could decide wisely and properly amidst fear, uncertainties, and confusion. Send us your Holy Spirit to make us brave in meeting the challenges, adapting the new landscape in education, teaching outside our comfort zones, and learning the new normal. Make us realize that all this are possible with you. All this we pray in your mighty name. Amen. Thank you very much for watching, and God bless us all.
na kailangan mo face to face. Gamit
ligtas na pag-aaral para sa kabataan, karunungan ng mamamayan, yaman ng bayan. Blended learning, lahat-lahat pagsasamahin, masiguro lamang lessons ay makarating. TV, radyo, module, online, anuman ang gamitin. Ang mahalaga, tuloy pa rin ang teaching, learning. Magpapatuloy na kalidad na edukasyon, pinakamatibay na pundasyon. Pag-aaral na ligtas sa lahat ng panahon, sulong edukalidad sa bawat pagkakataon. Ligtas sa lahat ng panahon, kabataan itong henerasyon. Bilang tugon sa isang bagong hamon, learning delivery modalities, isusulong ligtas sa pagtuturo, ating tugon upang magtuloy-tuloy ang edukasyon. Distance learning, pagtuturo kahit malayo, online, television, o radyo, ang self-learning modules. Mayroong print, may digital, lahat ng paraan gagawin para sa mag-aaral. Sa blended learning, lahat-lahat pagsasamahin, masiguro lamang lessons ay makarating. TV, radyo, module, online, anuman ang gamitin. Ang mahalaga, tuloy pa rin ang teaching, learning. Sulong edukalidad, magpapatuloy na kalidad na edukasyon, pinakamatibay na pundasyon. Pag-aaral na ligtas sa lahat ng panahon, sulong edukalidad sa bawat pagkakataon. Homeschooling, alternatibong paraan, ang mga magtuturo, mga magulang, learning materials, kukunin sa paaralan o dadalhin na lamang sa kanilang mga barangay. Blended learning, lahat-lahat pagsasamahin, masiguro lamang lessons ay makarating. TV, radyo, module, online, anuman ang gamitin. Ang mahalaga, tuloy pa rin ang teaching, learning. Sulong edukalidad, magpapatuloy na kalidad na edukasyon, pinakamatibay na pundasyon. Pag-aaral na ligtas sa lahat ng panahon, sulong edukalidad, ligtas na pag-aaral para sa kabataan, karunungan ng mamamayan, yaman ng bayan. Blended learning, lahat-lahat pagsasamahin, masiguro lamang lessons ay makarating. TV, radyo, module, online, anuman ang gamitin. Ang mahalaga, tuloy pa rin ang teaching, learning. Magpapatuloy na kalidad na edukasyon, pinakamatibay na pundasyon. Pag-aaral na ligtas sa lahat ng panahon. Sulong edukalidad sa bawat pagkakataon. Ligtas sa lahat ng panahon. Kabataan itong henerasyon.
Panibagong taon ng panuruan, paano gagawin na may kaligtasan? Halika na sumama sa akin at tingnan, pakinggan mo ang tinig na paaralan.
Eskwela na naman yung normal ating naghandaan, matalinong pinano lahat ng pagbabago para sa kaligtasan mo. Muling nasain ang isipan sa bagong blended learning na paaralan. DepEd ay kaagapay, sa atin ay kakabay sa ligtas na paglalakbay. Sama-sama tayo, tulong-tulong, edukasyo'y patuloy natin isulong. Kinabukasan ng bawat kabataan sa alang-alang gamit ang mas ligtas na pamamaraan. Iwasan ang face-to-face, pwede ang cellphone, TV at radio base. Cause all we need is to be safe. Sa modular at online class, lahat tayo ligtas. Ito ang bagong yugto ng taon, sabay-sabay tayong humarap sa bagong hamon. Kaya nating lahat, lahat tayo sama-samang magkaisa.
Yo, come on everybody, we can do it. Kaya natin lahat to kahit na mahirap tayo'y babangon. Lahat tayo'y aahon, tulong-tulong, lahat susulong. Buhay may gulong na pagulong-gulong, madalas ilalim, minsan ibabaw, titiklop at hindi aayaw. Patuloy lang tayo na lumaban, sa may kapal ay manalig lamang ng isip hanggang bukas. Sulong ang iyong kalidad, edukasyon ay di titigil, karungay di papitigil. Di mo na kailangan na mangamba, sa new normal ay ligtas ka.
Balik eskwela na naman, edukasyo'y patuloy natin.
Tira ang iyong isipan,
bawat isip, handa bukas, ang mas ligtas na pamamaraan. Sama-sama tayo, tulong-tulong.
Balik eskwela na naman,
edukasyo'y patuloy natin.
tira ang iyong isipan, handa isip, handa bukas,
ang mas ligtas na
kalidad na iyong kalidad.
Iwasan ang face-to-face.
Ang face to
Pwede ang cellphone, TV at radio base. Cause all we need is to be safe. Sa modular at online class, lahat tayo ligtas.
Kaya natin lahat to kahit na mahirap tayo'y babangon. Lahat tayo ay aaw. Come on everybody, we can do it. Kaya natin lahat to kahit na mahirap tayo'y babangon. Lahat tayo ay
Sige, sumulong tayo. Sige, sumulong tayo. Sige, sumulong tayo. Ligtas nating haharapin, bagong mundong lalakbayin. Sabay-sabay babangon sa lahat ng pagsubok. Bawat pintig ng damdamin nagsasabing tuloy pa rin. Walang makakapigil sa ating mithiin. Tatawirin, liliparin
pag-asa sa'yo. Malayo man agwat natin, pagmamahal at pagkalinga, ito'y padarama sa'yo. Sige, sumulong tayo, harapin natin ang bagong mundo. Sige, sumulong tayo, ituloy natin pangarap ng kahapon at hindi padadaig sa bawat hamon ng panahon, sa bawat bukas at ngayon, sa bawat pagsubok tutugon, magbayanihan, tulong-tulong. Sumulong tayo, sige sumulong, sumulong tayo. Sige sumulong, sumulong tayo. Sige sumulong, sumulong tayo. Sumulong. Bawat pintig ng damdamin nagsasabing tuloy pa rin. Edukasyong sandata natin, ituloy natin ang mithiin. Tatawirin, lalakbayin, ihahatid sulo ng pag-asa sa'yo. Malayo man agwat natin, pagmamahal at pagkalinga, ito'y padarama sa'yo. Sige, sumulong tayo, harapin natin ang bagong mundo. Sige, sumulong tayo, ituloy natin pangarap ng kahapon at hindi padadaig sa bawat hamon ng panahon, sa bawat bukas at ngayon, sa bawat pagsubok tutugon, magbayanihan, tulong-tulong. Sumulong tayo, sumulong tayo, harapin natin ang bagong mundo. Sige, sumulong tayo, ituloy natin pangarap ng kahapon at hindi padadaig sa bawat hamon ng panahon, sa bawat bukas at ngayon, sa bawat pagsubok tutugon, magbayanihan, tulong-tulong. Sumulong tayo, sige sumulong, sumulong tayo. Sige sumulong, sumulong.
Bilang tugon sa isang bagong hamon, learning delivery modalities, isusulong ligtas sa pagtuturo, ating tugon upang magtuloy-tuloy ang edukasyon. Distance learning, pagtuturo kahit malayo, online, television, o radyo, ang self-learning modules. Mayroong print, may digital, lahat ng paraan gagawin para sa mag-aaral. Sa blended learning, lahat-lahat pagsasamahin, masiguro lamang lessons ay makarating. TV, radyo, module, online, anuman ang gamitin. Ang mahalaga, tuloy pa rin ang teaching learning. Sulong edukalidad, magpapatuloy na kalidad na edukasyon. Pinakamatibay na pundasyon, pag-aaral na ligtas sa lahat ng panahon. Sulong edukalidad sa bawat pagkakataon. Homeschooling, alternatibong paraan ang mga magtuturo, mga magulang learning materials kukunin sa paaralan o dadalhin na lamang sa kanilang mga barangay. Sa blended learning, lahat-lahat pagsasamahin, masiguro lamang lessons ay makarating. TV, radyo, module, online, anuman ang gamitin. Ang mahalaga, tuloy pa rin ang teaching learning. Sulong edukalidad, magpapatuloy na kalidad na edukasyon, pinakamatibay na pundasyon, pag-aaral na ligtas sa lahat ng panahon. Sulong edukalidad, ligtas na pag-aaral para sa kabataan, karunungan ng mamamayan, yaman ng bayan. Blended learning, lahat-lahat pagsasamahin, masiguro lamang lessons ay makarating. TV, radyo, module, online, anuman ang gamitin. Ang mahalaga, tuloy pa rin ang teaching learning. Magpapatuloy na kalidad na edukasyon, pinakamatibay na pundasyon, pag-aaral na ligtas sa lahat ng panahon. Sulong edukalidad sa bawat pagkakataon, ligtas sa lahat ng panahon, kabataan itong henerasyon.
Panibagong taon ng panuruan, paano gagawin ng may kaligtasan? Halika na sumama sa akin at tingnan, pakinggan mo ang tinig ng paaralan.
Eskwela na naman yung normal atin, naghandaan matalinong sinano lahat ng pagbabago para sa kaligtasan mo. Muling nasain ang isipan sa bagong blended learning na paaralan, DepEd ay kaagapay sa atin ay kakabay sa ligtas na paglalakbay. Sama-sama tayo, tulong-tulong, may edukasyo'y patuloy natin isulong. Kinabukasan ng bawat kabataan sa alang-alang gamit ang mas ligtas na pamamaraan. Iwasan ang face-to-face, pwede ang cellphone, TV at radio base, 'cause all we need is to be safe. Sa modular at online class, lahat tayo ligtas. Ito ang bagong yugto ng taon, sabay-sabay tayong humarap sa bagong hamon. Kaya nating lahat, lahat tayo sama-sama, sama-samang magkaisa.
Yo, come on everybody, we can do it. Kaya natin lahat to kahit na mahirap tayo'y babangon. Lahat tayo'y aahon, tulong-tulong, lahat susulong. Buhay may gulong na pagulong-gulong, madalas ilalim, minsan ibabaw, titiklop at hindi aayaw. Patuloy lang tayo na lumaban, sa may kapal ay manalig lamang ng isip hanggang bukas. Isulong ang edukalidad, edukasyon ay di titigil, karunay di papipigil. Di mo na kailangan na mangamba, sa new normal ay ligtas ka.
Tulong-tulong,
Balitis pala na naman.
edukasyo'y patuloy natin.
Tira ang iyong isipan,
bawat
isip,
kabataan saan
ang
alang
bukas.
gamit ang mas ligtas na pamamaraan. Sama-sama tayo, tulong-tulong,
Balitis pala na naman.
edukasyo'y patuloy natin.
sa iyong isipan. Handang isipan ang tamang gamit.
Ang mas ligtas na
Kalidad at lokalidad.
Iwasan ang face-to-face.
Ang face to
Pwede ang
face.
cellphone, TV at radio base. Cause all we need is to be safe sa modular at online class.